have the last speaker of this block is named Brandon Bosma. His black cover is, "Are We Living in a Perfection-Only Driven Society?" Hear Brandon's shocking story of the fate of countless trisomy 18 children. You will be challenged to speak life by judging not, but rather journeying with. Please welcome Brandon Bosma.
Well, I'm glad I'm here. So every book has a beginning, and this is my beginning. I was 2 pounds and 12 ounces. You have to look at this picture and say that's cute. When I was young, I did things differently. Instead of crawling, I rolled. Instead of using my hands, I actually used my feet for reading books. And also, instead of crawling, I actually walked first. 14 months, I was diagnosed with Mosaic Trisomy 18. What trisomy 18 is an extra chromosome on the 18th chromosome, because we all have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We get one from the mother and one from the father there. But on the 18th chromosome, there's an extra chromosome. And there are 3 main types. There's full trisomy, there's an extra chromosome in every cell, partial trisomy, part of an extra trisomy, and Mosaic Trisomy 18, that's what I have. I have some cells with additional chromosome. In my case, I have 70% of my cells have an extra chromosome. Unfortunately, many doctors will say it's called incompatible with life. Characteristics. Over 90% of children die before they're a year old. Some have heart problems, lung problems, breathing problems, eating difficulties, and kidney problems. I'm thankful to God I have none of these problems. Imagine if the only way you could get surgery was based on your genes. What if the only factor whether you lived or died was based solely on your genes? Would that be fair? Unfortunately, this is the world of a trisomy 18 child. When a child is born with trisomy 18, many doctors will not give any medical help. They'll put a DNR, do not resuscitate, and just let it die without the parents' knowledge. In the current case I'm working on now, I'm an advocate. I have my own website for trisomy groups. In a current case, like this is in Edmonton, they wanted to get a heart operation for this girl. They wouldn't give it to her because she's trisomy 18. So they didn't give it to her at the Royal Alex Hospital or the Children's Stollery Hospital twice. So finally she's getting it, but some doctors trying to stop her. I was at a School of Science conference, and this lady had a child with trisomy 18, and the doctor said, okay, it's not going to live, so they just let it die, and she was shocked I was alive. And another story, a lady found my website, like doctors told her not to look at any website that they just all die. The trisomy kids, so she didn't look, and she had an abortion because they said they had all these problems with the child. So she took the doctor's advice, and once they did a thing where I forget the thing is, autopsy, yeah, that's the word. Well, they found there was nothing wrong with the child at all. And these are some of the survivors here. So this is a cartoon based on a visit with my geneticist. So her advice was abortion. Statistics showing we were like shocked. And I say I'm not a statistic or a diagnosis. And these are some of the likes I like. You might have some of the same interests I have. I like this because it talks about diagnosis. I am more than my diagnosis. I'm a friend, I'm a dog lover, I'm a student, I'm a neighbor, I'm a caring person, I'm a child, I'm a dreamer, I'm a thinker, I'm a champion, and I'm a believer. Is this an inclusive society? Fact, over 95% of trisomy kids are aborted. And And so this is Pierre Singer at Princeton University, and he's the head of the ethics department, and this is what he thinks about disabled children. It would be ethically okay to kill 1-year-olds with physical or mental disabilities. The ideally question of infanticide would be raised as soon as possible after birth. When the death of another disabled infant will lead to the birth of another infant with better prospects of a happy life, the total amount of happiness will be greater if the disabled infant is killed. And he's getting paid for teaching this at Princeton University. I think this is a hate crime. So this is Bill 52, Quebec Youth in Asia Bill, based on Belgians. This is Belgium wants to add a separate category for disabled kids so they can just kill them. Is my life less valuable than yours? So I told you about what trisomy is about, and this is how it affects me. It was hard for me to learn, not as coordinated, took longer things like walking and talking. Hard to understand if people talk too fast. Hard to understand if there are too many instructions. Unfortunately, being that, having trisomy makes me different. And unfortunately, a lot of times, being bullied. You know the old saying, sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. I say that's a bunch of crap. Because words do hurt, and they hurt me for a long time. And this kid's being laughed at, I can relate to that, because kids used to laugh at me and think I was a little crazy. And you know what? It hurts. So every year I invite kids to my birthday party, they come, but unfortunately they won't invite me back. You know what something like that would mean to me? Exclusion. Well, I was not very good at sports. I'd always give it to the other team, so they didn't really want me at sports that much in basketball, because I would pass it to the other team and they would just score on my team all the time. So they would say, Brandon, sorry, we can't have you on our team. So I would ask, they would say no, and then they'd have someone right after me. Fortunately, I can relate to this also because I got beat up a lot, so all teachers and students alike did nothing about it. Bullying is not okay. So at first, when I first got bullied, I told no one because I thought they would think I'm a sissy or a chicken, and it would get worse. But in those kind of situations where you're getting bullied, tell someone you are not alone. No action. Well, I told someone they didn't really do anything about it, so if that happens, tell someone else. Wrong thinking. So I got to the point where I got bullied so bad I thought about ending it all. And that's wrong thinking. People do care for you. Listen, forgiveness. You know when you have such hatred and anger at the bully? Well, it's like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die from it. The only way you can bury the hatchet is forgiveness. Bully said, I'm sorry I don't have the right equipment here for the explosion. I was going to get some stuff to make something explode here, but I forgot to bring it. My mom rushed me too much this morning. So unfortunately, these are two extremes. There's explosion inside is suicide, and the other one is outside is revenge, fortunately. So what really got me through is my Christian faith, that God was always there for me and He was looking after me. And if you're going through those situations where you're getting bullied, I remember a verse that says in the Bible that God has plans for me to prosper me and not to harm me, plans to give you a hope and a future. So don't judge my path if you haven't walked my journey. If you hadn't met me, you probably wouldn't know I had Trisomy team. You might meet kids that have no friends, like sit besides themselves. But if they're doing that, like on the bus or in the cafeteria, be a friend to them. You don't know what they're going through. Let's put an end to bullying. My channel, oh yeah. I see you have a poster there that says, "That's so gay is so yesterday." I'm glad you're sticking up against discrimination. But my question is, where are the posters that say, "That's so retarded is so yesterday"? Society needs to change, and you can be that change.
Does anyone have any questions for Brandon first? Just while we're waiting for the sound to work, and we'll end before lunch with a song. So we have a question right there. Brandon, if you want to come back up.
Yes?
So I have a question. With the whole Quebec bill, is there any action being taken against it, or what exactly?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Yes, I would say people are against that bill, but they are trying to push it forward. Yes?
How old are you?
16. Yes?
When you were growing up and getting bullied, did you ever get anger and wish to almost fight back against the bullies and
Yes, I did.
What did you do to get rid of that aggression or anything?
Forgiveness. And prayer, lots of prayer.
Let's give it up for Brandon.